This is not the most visually appealing start. Hello there, unfortunate audience. My name is Oliterio, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look around Oasis 2. The new creative world I have created, where actually, I've been working on it for quite some time. And I was going to do a video about it earlier, but, I obviously didn't get around to it. We're not going to take too much of an in-depth look around it. I just want to show off what I've been building, which, to start off, goddamn, this is pretty, significant, if everyone remember. It's been so long since I visited this place because I've been working on a project over there, which is actually like a little puzzle thingy. I plan to one day release this map or world or something. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, or if I am even gonna do it, or if I'm gonna ever finish any of this, but the project over there is meant to, I'm designing it as if people are gonna be able to play it. But welcome to the first ever build on this world, which I dubbed Golden Hills Village. Why? Because there's this giant patch of land over there that I didn't know what I wanted to build on, and it was a pain in the ass to terraform, so I just decided, you know what? You get a crop farm the size of Kansas. No one is ever going to need this much bread. There's a lot of buildings around here. The theme was medieval, which this is what separates this version of Oasis from the other one. A lot of there's gonna be like builds, and they're gonna be segmented into different like themes and areas. So you won't have like a futuristic build next to this, or at least if you are gonna have it nearby, at least out of like viewing range, or like obscure, like over there you can already see it. God damn it. The archives were never really that hidden, were they? You get several different builds over here, and what I wanted to focus on for this world is more on details than just like pure up like scale. Like a lot of maps you'll see like giant buildings and there's like entire city blocks, but when you go inside them there's nothing, and I wanted to change that with this. So every building has an interior, it's decorated, there's stuff in the boxes. Basically, I am a sucker for detail, like so much. By the way, I'm using a resource pack called Vanilla Tweaks, and I don't remember what it had. I'm using the wrong tab. I don't remember what it had, but basically it freshens things up a little bit. Like, it makes the models 3D and all that stuff, but it doesn't really change too much. You got, like, ponds and all that stuff. The idea was that, like, this town is very archaic in design. The fact that, like, there's stone roads, but there's not even stone roads, everything's dirt roads, which kind of makes sense. I mean, like, early towns had dirt roads. It wasn't until, like, I think the first industrial revolution, around that time is when they started using stone roads. One of my favorite things to do is build, like, these little, I don't even know what you call, what do you call these? You're just, like, offshore rocks. Well, I guess that's what you call them. I even gave them, like, nicknames. This is, dangerous hopscotch. In case if you wanted to break your kneecaps, if this were in real life, if someone were doing hopscotch in here, dude, one wrong turn, you break your kneecaps on one of the sharp edges of the rocks, dude, you'd be bleeding out in like seconds. This is hardcore not crisscross, stupid, hopscotch. What I really like doing around here, and what I've noticed I'm really good at, is like nature stuff. For example, this tree right here. The idea was that it grew on the side of the mountain, so it took some of the dirt from the side of the mountain with it, and I just like how it turned out. Thing I didn't notice until like way too late. Maybe should regulate the vine usage. It sort of got out of hand. In fact, later on in this video, I'll show you an area where that really got out of hand. You've got a watchtower here, some fields where people barbecue food, which I know is stretching it for medieval times, but listen, it's a barbecue, alright? You even have like a little stage here in case if you wanted to play William Tell. Is that even a stage? I think that's just a dude. In case you wanted to play Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah, his theatrical performance was incredible. I loved him in shows. I even named the chickens. This one's Dairy. By the way, I thought for a second dogs killed chickens, and when I saw this dog in the pen one time, I was like, Wait a fucking minute. I nearly had a stroke because I thought the dog killed all the chickens, which is why mob spawning is disabled in this world. There's no fucking way I'm letting another thing like that happen. You're not part of the coop, are you? No, you're some random ass chicken. Get your bitch ass out of here. One of the things I wanted to do in this build is there used to be lights everywhere, but I decided what would be cooler, or at least what I thought would be cooler, was that if only the buildings had lights, so that during the nighttime you could just see all the buildings light up. And I think that actually worked out fairly well. The bigger the town gets, I think the better the effect will be. I still got a ways to go because I haven't completed absolutely everything, but when I do, I bet it'll turn out nice. I think out of all the areas I've worked on so far, it's the biggest with the most to offer, but that's really because it's like the first thing I ever worked on and I had the most time to just fuck around with it. And there's like a lot of changes that were made in this area that you'll never know because like it was never documented. But for example, purely going based on memory, I mentioned the lampposts that used to be on the streets. They're completely gone. This used to be like a market. There used to be like selling foods and all that stuff. And this pond originally didn't have like this thing connecting to the ocean, which I still don't think makes sense because it's a pond. It has finite water. We'll just call it God's Pond. No one knows how it gets there, it just gets there, alright? But now that the atmosphere has gotten quite darker, I think it's a perfect time to visit the archives, which goes along with the theme that I said earlier about this being like something that could be released to like the online world. This archive was specifically designed for that. Now, previously the archive just like archived achievements from Channel Altaria, like OVSZ and all that stuff. Or was it Altaria's Virtual Simulations? Yeah, OVSZ. I always confuse it with OSVC. Then there's not even a C there. You see, I confuse it too often. I hate it. But basically, it used to document stuff from Channel Altaria, but now instead it documents stuff from the things you can do around the world. And there's like a little book here that explains everything, which I won't read because it's too long. But basically, the idea is that, like, as I'm building the world, I can come up with like little fun challenges to do. And like, you can get like rewards out of it. They don't do anything, they're just fun to collect. Like, for example, the one I'm working on right now is Beat the Desert Temple in the Dunes of the Dead, which is an area we're going to be visiting real soon. Which, by the way, it's not capitalized. I don't know why it's not. It's just not. I don't know why I didn't do that. I even had an idea, which wasn't here earlier, by the way. An idea that's over here, to the Hall of Traders. Which I hate the fact that it's using ladders. I usually try to refrain myself from using ladders because they're slower than like stairs, but I didn't have choice. There wasn't a lot of space here. But Hall of Traders, the idea here is that like across the world there's gonna be like items and dungeons you can collect, and you can come down here to trade it with the villagers, like Trader of the Dunes, for example, and you can trade it for achievements, which we're gonna see one right now, which is Achievement Dusty Gatherer. Trade the collector's item from Dunes of the Dead, and the collector item is like an ancient rod. The items themselves don't have any use other than trading, but like you can get achievements out of this. And by the way, it is a pain in the ass to make this villager exist. Dude, I swear to God, I spawned him. I don't know how many times I fucking spawned this motherfucker in, only for him to have the wrong trade. The trade has the wrong price on it. I forgot to spawn him in with the right name. The items that he's trading isn't correct. And it's like so many fucking problems, dude. It's fuck you, you're an ass. Why can't you just be simple, man? Why can't you just be simple? But yeah, that's the archives. This, by the way, is a teleportation pod. If you remember from the previous Oasis, there used to be like a nether roof that could teleport you around the world. It's now located in the overworld, and if I wanted to go to Golden Hills Village, boom, I'm here. And I'm here, Golden Hills Village. Which, speaking of which, I want to arrive on Dunes of the Dead via, like, just flying there, because it's actually a pretty interesting sight if we fly there, especially at night, which you might see right now. This area, compared to the one before, like, sure, the Golden Hills Village is more complete, but this one, I have to say, has a lot more effort put behind it. Because as we approach, it definitely has a little bit of work done in it. I don't know, can you tell? By far my favorite aesthetically, especially this opening area. Like, the idea is that you're gonna arrive here by boat, and just imagine imagine just like driving up to this in a boat and like swimming under the archways, and like there's a temple in front of you that you can complete. That's the kind of shit I'm aiming for with Oasis 2. It's an adventure world, baby. There's no clear rules as to what the rules are in the adventure world, but you know, maybe I'll come up with that near the end of the world, or maybe I'll just let the player decide what they want the rules to be, because personally, I have no clue what the rules are going to be. This is the Temple of the Dunes of the Dead. Before we go inside it, I want to show off this area, purely because I think this would be hell to traverse in real life. Just imagine like the Sahara Desert, except it looks like this. Would that not be like 10 times cooler than whatever the hell the Sahara Desert is nowadays? Like, it's just sand. It's not even rocks or anything, it's just sand. It's boring as hell. Who the hell designed the Sahara Desert? They need to be fired. This is a temple. There's gonna be a lot of these throughout the world, but oh my god, dude, I don't know how long I've been working on this. I know it's more than like 2-3 months maybe, but this is taking some time, man. I don't even know how to like show this off. There's so much to show off. I guess I'll start with the entrance. Rid yourself of your belongings before entering. This is just a sign, so like if you were playing the world, you'd put all your stuff in the chest before entering, because, you know, it's courtesy. You don't want to cheat the temple by having like an item from a different temple to just like cheat everything. That's cheating. I think the way I'm gonna do this, I won't show off any of the hints or anything, or how to solve any of the puzzles. I think I'll just show off the rooms, because my god, in terms of aesthetics, I absolutely love this area. Especially this room, which is the prayer room, which reminds me of a church. And you think I designed this a little bit around like a Catholic church? I don't know. It's just a little bit of inspiration from like churches. Why do people try so fucking hard to build churches? Like, seriously, have you ever seen one of those? They're like, alright, I want marble fucking floors, golden freaking pillars, and it's like, my god. Jesus must be some fucking badass dude for them to be putting all these resources in for a building. Oh god, but no, I do respect the effort that goes into building those kind of things. And that's sort of what I wanted to do here. The main idea around the desert temple was that there's actually 2 areas to it. This is the above ground area, and there's a below ground area. But for the above ground one, it's a bunch of orange, red, and copper. A lot of copper. And I had a giant scare at one point in time because I didn't have waxed copper. I used the wrong kind of copper, and it gave me an aneurysm. I'll be honest with you. I nearly died. I nearly had a heart attack. I nearly stroked and died, dude. Not funny. No joke there. Very serious. Over here we have a hallway, which I don't know exactly what to describe. I guess I could describe it as like an old ruins of sorts. You could definitely tell that time has passed and everything's dead, so yeah, I guess old ruins does describe it perfectly. Oh wow, guys, look at this room. Doesn't it look very interesting? Yeah, you can definitely tell I finished this area. By the way, you can tell that I'm a professional redstone engineer by the fact that I fucked up this redstone circuit so badly I had to use a target block. This is the room right to the right. This is what I like to call, there really isn't a word for this. I guess just like the entrance. To the right of it, there's like this little room over here. There's a hallway, which, by the way, I absolutely love the pillars here. I don't know what it reminds. It definitely reminds me of something, but I don't know what. Once again, we have another puzzle aspect linked here with like 2 different blocks and like a what do you call this? A water elevator. We have the tower. We have a corridor over here, which is a puzzle segment, platforming specifically. And I designed this one around the fact that if you fall, you won't immediately die. I kind of had to take into account the fact that if the player were playing not in peaceful mode, they'd probably die at some point in time. I like this. It just pushes you off. It says fuck you, and the redstone around here is just like, it's very simple. I like that. That's the only time I've ever made a redstone contraption simple, I'll tell you that. What even is this? Oh yeah, this is the delayed button. You press this button, and it goes through this complicated sequence just to delay one thing. And the thing was, I placed this piston wrong to the point where like the only solution to get this to work was to have out in the open redstone. which doesn't look particularly pretty, I'll be honest with you. There's a door over here you can't open, and that's it for this room. I like the way it looks. It's just one of my favorite rooms. I say that about every damn room I enter in this damn place. But this one's especially pretty, the hydro chamber. You go in here and immediately everything's underwater. I did test this map a lot to see if you could break through, like if you could boundary break into like these rooms, because they're not supposed to be accessible. The idea is that you go underwater and then you go through a different section, and then you're going to be able to like go through a pipe that leads you back up over here. And once you're up over here, you can like just like glide down to like one of these areas. And I tested it for like hours, and there's not a way that I could find at least to like just push yourself up there. What the fuck was that actually? Did I just find the way? No. No, I'm being a fucking idiot. We're now looking under the map. This is where things get interesting. One, because aesthetically, for me at least, I feel like this is where the map gets really, really interesting with the aesthetics. And two, it has one of my favorite books I've ever written of all time called I Miss You. Care to take a read? I miss you, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you. Hey, I'm not gonna read the entire thing, but it goes on for 35 pages. Just imagine coming home one night and there's just a book under your doorway that's just I miss you, and it's like 500 pages of the same word. Dude, I'd honestly be terrified. I'm gonna have to turn up the brightness for this area because I don't think YouTube likes it when it's very dark around Minecraft. We're about to enter the whoop. Dun, dun, dun. Where visually, actually, I could sort of turn this back down. It doesn't really need to be this bright. But visually, this is where things get interesting. You see, underneath the temple is a sewer, which is infested with just plants and everything. This place is clogged to like hell and back. Dude, I tell you right now, you go underneath New York into the sewers, this is probably what it looks like. By the way, this is where I mentioned earlier that I had a problem with vines. This is where the problem with vines started. Oh my god, it's still fucking persisting. You've got to be kidding me. How? How do you persist? Oh boy, I wonder what's behind this room. Oh, I like this area. Personally, in terms of aesthetics, cramped areas I absolutely hate in real life. But in terms of visual aesthetics, they can look pretty nice. Like, yeah, it's you can't see shit, but at least you know neither can any like dangerous things. I don't fucking know where I'm going with this. Visually, I have to say this is one of my favorite areas because underground, everything's just more nature-esque than above ground. And the trade-off for that is obviously all the copper is like rusted and all that, but yeah, I'd trade this off for any day. None of these rooms are finished yet, but the one I'm planning to work on next one is actually this one, which by the way, if you're wondering what's over here, it's just like the way back up. Like you go through here and you get like sent back up to the beginning of the area. Oh, it's nighttime again. Everything looks prettier in nighttime. Oh, let's save that room for after we go here, because this is how you get to that room. You go down here, and all of a sudden, this has become Underwater Simulator 2.0. This is honestly just like a nice area. I just like this. I say that about every fucking area. I cannot stop complimenting things, man. I just like building shit in Minecraft. When I was building this, the one thing I kept thinking about was like the water temple and Ocarina of Time, which is one, I mean like visually, yeah, I can see the resemblance, but two, I fucking hated that temple so goddamn much. And not for the reason everyone else is like, oh, the temple's so boring and slow. I was like, where the fuck is that last goddamn key? I've been like searching for like 400 hours and I can't fucking find it. Like, the idea is that you're supposed to be swimming around here, and the challenge is that when you're swimming around here, you're running out of oxygen. So like little pockets you can go up into, and like this area. My god, it's a maze that you're supposed to traverse quickly or else you'll drown. And I made sure that you couldn't just swim your way up and out of this, which is why the ceiling is so low and why there's so many fences everywhere. Eventually you can swim out of here and you get to like an unused, like buried portion of the temple, like what the temple was originally like, I guess. You got like a water station here. Once again, everything's covered in just a bunch of grass. This elevator actually does function, but it doesn't lead to anywhere, so don't get your hopes up. It's literally just it's literally just empty. By the way, a thing I know about game design is that usually in a dark room, a way to lead a player towards something important is to make it brighter, which is why this little area of water here is brighter than the rest of the room. Over here you have like more areas you gotta swim through, and this is how you get to that absolutely giant room over here, which aesthetically is very lacking in terms of like detail, but like in sheer scope, yeah, this is definitely one of the better rooms. Like, I don't know what the equivalent to this room would be, but the idea was to make it look like a dam, and I think I hit that pretty damn well. It's probably one of the biggest rooms in the entire temple. I think it beats out like the biggest room above ground. I think this is the biggest room actually. Other than like the prayer room, this is like the second biggest room. And it honestly took like 20,000 hours less to make than that prayer room. That was probably one of the largest rooms and longest it ever took. You can't go through any of these two doors, and this is where the tour concludes because this is actually the last thing I built. This is it. I didn't build anything else. That was everything. So that was Oasis 2. So far, I gotta say, so far, I think it's going pretty damn good. I've been working on this for like the past few weeks instead of doing literally anything else. Oh my god, I forgot to mention this abomination. Alright, before I close out the video, I just have to say, fuck this goddamn redstone thing, alright? I'll be on, fuck this one in particular. So you're supposed to like activate the piston, right? It goes up, it presses this redstone signal, the redstone signal goes up, and boom. I needed this thing to be like a constant on thing. Like, these are supposed to be constantly on, these pistons here. And the way to deactivate them is to power them up again. But the thing is, oh my god, doing that was a pain in the ass. I originally just had like a different redstone torch system. That didn't work. I tried for like 500 hours, and then at the end of the day, I realized I was being a fucking moron, and I could have just done this and it solved the entire thing in like 2 minutes in it. And that was Oasis 2. There's a lot more things I could have gone in detail about, rooms I could have showed off. But honestly, if I showed off every single room, this video would be an hour long. And I think I just saved that for like when the rooms are finished, or when like things are finished, I'll show off the entire building instead of like just generally the entirety of Oasis. Because despite how small this is in reality, like it's not really that big. There's only like a tiny area over here, a tiny over here, and a tiny over there. But it still would take a good fucking hour, and there's no way I'm gonna edit that all in like like the 6 hours I have left before I have to upload a video. It is currently 1:30 a.m. Oh boy, there's definitely no way I'm gonna be able to edit that by tomorrow. Not because I can't do it, but because I want to be able to sleep at night. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. And the next video that'll probably come out of Oasis 2 is probably going to be one where I actually use the shaders that I have put in here, but I didn't use because I don't want my PC to explode. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.